Winning championships. It's the ultimate goal. But there's so many great players that never won a championship. Allen Iverson, Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley. Why have all these great players never won a championship? The fact of the matter is, not everyone can win a championship. So the question is, does not winning a championship put a blemish on your career?
That's just the unfortunate part in this bit. When you're a great player and you're putting them great numbers, people are always going to say, but do you have a championship? If you don't get a championship, that's not a knock. Like, you can't tell me Allen Iverson is not one of the greatest point guards. You can't tell me John Stockton is not one of the greatest point guards. You can't tell me Karl Malone or Charles Barkley is not one of the greatest power forwards.
Before I continue, be sure to smash that subscribe button. Most people believe Jordan is the greatest player of all time. So imagine this hypothetical scenario. Jordan gets drafted to a horrendous team. I mean, he's playing with Kwame Brown and Brian Scalabrine in a starting lineup his whole career. Of course, he still plays as incredibly as he did, but in this hypothetical, he doesn't win any championships. Is he still the greatest of all time?
We would not be arguing about Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, being the greatest players ever if they didn't have championship rings on.
But we live in this culture that somebody's career essentially is not completely validated unless they win a championship. That's just reality.
So how much of a stain does that actually put on their career? Do they even need a ring as a sign to show that they were a great player? If LeBron stayed with the Cavs and never won a ring, nobody would be comparing him to Kobe or even to MJ. He wouldn't even be considered one of the greats.
You had opportunities on multiple occasions to put yourself in a situation to go after the chip, and instead elected to go after the money.
Here's another question. How many NBA players have ever won a championship in the past? Only 11% of players have ever won a ring. That means if you're an average player in the NBA, you have a 1 in 9 chance of ever winning a ring. If you're a star like LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, or Stephen Curry, then of course your chances are a lot higher. But if your name's David West, who just hopped from team to team, that is your best chance of winning a ring. Let's look at the facts. There are 30 teams in the league, only 2 teams make it to the final, and only 1 team can win a championship each year. Being that it's only 2 out of 30 teams, making it to the finals is not easy. I mean, look how much of a big deal they make out of
it. If you have 2 superstars, you're probably going to win or have a real good shot. If you don't have those guys, it almost never happens that you can win.
All that being said, there's just not enough to go around. You have guys like the Bulls with Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen to hog all the chips away. They took rings away from John Stockton, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Clyde Drexler. So many more players could have won a ring if not for that Bulls team. Here's what Charles Barkley had to say about this.
But I'm trying to figure, just because a couple assholes on television say, well, he never won a championship, I'm like, wait, when did it become an individual thing? Mm-hmm. It makes a good soundbite on television, but I didn't realize I was playing golf and tennis. And, and I don't want to poo-poo on anybody's parade, but let's take Matthew Stafford. He's been a good quarterback in Detroit for 12 years, I think. And then he goes to a really good team and wins the Super Bowl. And I'm like, yay, if I could have went to a real good team, I would have won the championship too.
So even though he doesn't have a ring, Barkley still keeps his head up high and knows that he had a great career. But situations like this come back to bite him because of the lack of validation that a ring gets you.
But your best player...
You don't know what you're talking about when it comes to championship.
I'm just telling you something.
Stop baby
Wayne carried you to that championship. No matter how much you scream you loud, that does not make you right. You're wrong in this. And
that's why you ain't winning, because you're a baby. Stop babying these players.
I'm not babying no players.
He don't play. He don't play. He got to sit his ass down. Period.
He got to repair.
He ain't got to repair nothing. He got to stop babying the players. You got baby. That's why you ain't win.
He got to. I didn't have Dwayne Wade and Kobe Bryant carry me up and down the court.
So why you don't Hall of Fame? Because I got 3 Finals MVP, Chuck.
Because you
Google me, Chuck.
Everybody knows you're a great player.
You see that?
Everybody knows you're a great player.
You don't know what you're talking about when it comes to championship. You ain't got to repair nothing. He got to step up and play.
We all didn't
play.
have other players
This is
carrying us
playoff
up and down the
stoppage.
court. You can yell as much as
I
you
got
want
3
to.
Finals MVP. How many
and you
got?
are a great player.
Thank
but
you.
wouldn't have got it if
That's
you
my
didn't have
point.
Kobe and Ewing.
I will say,
To sum it all up, championships shouldn't make a great player any less than they are. Teams win championships, and if a great player is put in a good situation, then they got a good chance at winning. A similar scenario happened to Carmelo Anthony.
you've been in the league for 16 years. You've been to one conference championship. You've never played in an NBA Finals. Your man, LeBron James, 9 NBA Finals, 3 championships. D. Wade, your other brother, 5 NBA Finals appearances, 3 championships.
Can't compare.
That's right. Can't compare. How do you feel about that? How does that make you feel, particularly when you're in their presence?
As a competitor, it makes me feel like, damn, why not me? What's going on? But on the flip side of that, I've never been put in those situations before. I've never had the teams that LeBron James has had. I've never had the teams that D. Wade has had.
I believe there are exceptions, however. You may see a player who's filling up the stat sheet but never won a ring, and you might feel like, well, then he's not such a great player after all. That player, and I think many of you will agree, is Russell Westbrook. He's practically Mr. Triple-Double. He fills up the stat sheet but can be a detriment to his team with his high turnover numbers and low field goal percentage. Sure, he's an athletic beast and a heck of a player, but in my eyes, he cannot be compared to players like Barkley, Ewing, Malone, because he fills up what I like to call empty stats.
You know, when we look at Westbrook, you know, we love his talent. We love the way he competes, but his maturity level and maturation level as a leader and also as a teammate and as a player has definitely been stifled. Westbrook has really stayed stuck on the numbers and not necessarily transcended to the intelligence part of the game, where you need to really be the quarterback and the leader out on the floor to make your team win.
At the end of the day, you have to become a champion. And if you're carrying an MVP banner in this league, you got to become a champion.
That's all I got for you guys today. Please smash that subscribe button and give me a like as well.